Have you ever walked out to your garden expecting to see fat, healthy tomatoes, and instead found your leaves spotted, your cucumbers turning bitter, and your peppers just stuck? Not growing, not dying, just sitting there mocking you. Today I'm going to show you a single kitchen mixture that most gardeners have thrown in the trash their entire lives, and once you start using it, your tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers will fight off disease on their own and start producing more food than you know what to do with. And no, you don't need a single bottle from the garden aisle to make this happen. Honestly, half of what's sitting on those shelves is there to empty your wallet, not save your harvest. The real fix has probably been sitting in your kitchen this whole time. So tell me quickly in the comments, what's the worst thing a plant disease has ever done to your garden? I want to hear it, because by the end of this video, that's never happening to you again. Let's rewind for a second. Before garden centers existed on every corner with 50 different bottles promising a miracle harvest, people grew enormous amounts of food, using almost nothing but what was already in their homes. Our grandparents weren't buying fungicide sprays. They were working with what the earth gave them, and they understood something most of us have forgotten. Soil is alive. It's not a container you dump chemicals into. It's an ecosystem you have to work with, not against. So today we're bringing back one of those old school tricks that quietly disappeared once marketing took over the gardening world. Here's the truth nobody at the garden center wants you to hear. Those bright, expensive liquid fertilizers can actually work against you over time. They hit your plants with a jolt of synthetic nitrogen, kind of like chugging an energy drink. You get a quick spike, then a crash, and eventually your soil's natural biology gets wrecked in the process. The mixture I'm about to show you does the opposite. It feeds the living organisms in your soil first, and those organisms feed your plants the way nature intended. So what is this mystery mixture? It's two things you probably already have: plain baking soda and a little bit of wood ash from a fireplace or fire pit. That's it. 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of fine wood ash. No fancy tools, no chemistry degree, no trip to the store. You just need a spoon and a bit of water, and you're holding something more powerful than half the bottles on that store shelf. Let's talk about why this stops disease dead in its tracks. If you've ever seen that dusty white coating on your leaves, or those ugly brown patches spreading across your plant, that's powdery mildew or blight, and both of them love acidic, damp conditions. The moment you apply this mixture, it shifts the pH on the leaf surface and topsoil to something more alkaline, an environment those fungal spores simply can't survive in. I had a batch of squash plants that looked completely coated in powder one season. I hit them with this mixture, and within 2 days the new leaves were coming in clean and green, while the disease just stopped spreading. Now here's where it gets exciting, because this isn't just about stopping disease, it's about explosive growth. Wood ash is loaded with potassium, calcium, and trace minerals that most garden soil is missing. When you deliver that through this mixture, the roots pull it in almost immediately. People assume plants just need nitrogen to grow tall, but without potassium, you get weak stems and small, disappointing fruit. This mixture builds strength into the plant at a cellular level. Picture a pepper plant wilting in the afternoon heat. You apply this in the evening, and by morning it's standing upright again, leaves reaching up, noticeably thicker than the day before. Before we go further, if this is your first time here, hit subscribe. My partner still doesn't believe we'll ever hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and honestly, every single one of you proves them wrong a little more each week. Let's keep going. Now let's clear up a dangerous habit a lot of beginners fall into. More is not better. The instinct is, if a small amount helps, a huge amount must help even more. That's exactly how people accidentally kill perfectly healthy plants. Dumping too much fertilizer burns delicate root hairs, turns leaves yellow, and the plant ends up dying of thirst, even though the soil is soaked. This method works because it's a microdose. 1 spoon, properly diluted, is enough to trigger the plant's biology without ever overwhelming it. Think of it like seasoning food. A pinch of salt makes the dish, a cup of salt ruins it. The same principle applies here. Let's look at cucumbers specifically, because they respond almost instantly. Cucumbers are heavy feeders and burn through calcium and potassium fast, which is exactly why they get moody, wilting one day, dropping flowers the next, producing bitter, misshapen fruit out of nowhere. Once you apply this mixture, the mild alkalinity balances the soil enough to unlock that nutrient flow again. Those small yellowing cucumbers that usually drop off the vine start filling out and turning a deep, crisp green, and you'll notice way more female flowers, which are the ones that actually turn into fruit. I watched a friend's cucumber vines go from completely stalled to so overloaded with cucumbers, he was handing them out to every neighbor on his street within a week. Tomatoes are next, and if you've grown tomatoes, you already know the heartbreak of blossom end rot, that sunken black spot on the bottom of an otherwise perfect tomato. It's not a disease, it's a calcium deficiency, usually made worse by inconsistent watering. The calcium in the wood ash, paired with the balancing effect of the baking soda, helps the plant pull calcium up from the soil and push it directly into the fruit. Apply this consistently, and blossom end rot becomes a thing of the past. Instead of tossing half your harvest, you're slicing into a full, blemish-free tomato that actually looks like the ones on seed packet photos. Peppers might be the most stubborn plant in your entire garden. You plant them and they just sit there for weeks, not dying, not growing, just staring back at you. Peppers are extremely sensitive to soil acidity, and when nutrients get locked up in acidic soil, the roots basically shut down. This mixture unlocks that nutrient lockup almost immediately. Once the roots can access what they need, the plant takes off. Thicker stems, new side shoots, tiny white flowers everywhere. I've seen a pepper plant stuck at 10 inches for a month suddenly shoot up to nearly 3 feet, loaded with thick-walled peppers. Application matters just as much as the mixture itself, so let's get the technique right. Dilute your 1-spoon mixture into a full watering can of lukewarm water, never cold straight from the hose, because cold water shocks warm summer roots and slows everything down. Pour it directly at the base of the plant where the stem meets the soil, never over the leaves in direct sun, because sunlight through water droplets will scorch the foliage. You want a slow soak at the roots, not a shower on the leaves. Timing matters too. Apply this once every 14 days, starting the moment you see the first flowers open. That's when the plant shifts from just growing leaves to actually building fruit. Always apply in the evening, never the morning, because the cool overnight hours give the roots time to fully absorb everything before the sun comes back up and starts pulling moisture out of the soil. Let's talk about money for a second, because gardening is supposed to save you money, not drain your wallet. Specialty tomato food, cucumber fertilizer, fungicide spray, soil conditioners, add all that up, and you might be spending more growing your own vegetables than just buying them at the store. A box of baking soda and a handful of wood ash costs next to nothing, and you're replacing all of that with it. On top of the savings, you're doing right by the environment too. No chemical runoff into local water, earthworms thriving in balanced soil, bees and butterflies showing up because there's nothing toxic being sprayed around. Last thing, and this matters more than people think, prepare for the harvest that's coming. Those flimsy wire tomato cages from the hardware store will not hold up once this kicks in. Get real wooden stakes, heavy garden twine, sturdy trellises for your cucumber vines, because branches will snap under the weight of what's coming. Clear space in your kitchen too. You're going to be canning sauce and pickling cucumbers for days. So there it is. No expensive bottles, no complicated routine, just 1 spoon of baking soda and wood ash, applied the right way, at the right time. Your plants stay disease-free, your soil gets healthier, and your harvest multiplies. If this helped, subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who needs their garden saved this season. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the strangest thing you've ever used to feed your plants? I read every single comment, so don't hold back. Happy growing, and I'll see you in the next one.